Can I borrow your lighter for a second, please? Not to have a smoke or get a cancerous disease, but I was just walking down the road when I saw an empty soul who lost their spark, and I just want to make them feel like home and get them out of the dark. So please, can I borrow your lighter for a second? Because, to be honest, mine stopped working a while ago. And I don't know whether it's empty or broken, or whether I use it too often to lighten up the world and make people feel seen and heard. But now I've just lost it. And I don't even smoke, even though my mind is foggy and sometimes I can barely breathe, but please just leave it to me. I don't know how, but I will be fine. So can I please borrow your lighter, because I can't help anyone with mine. I just need to brighten up someone's day because it might help my own darkness go away. I can't leave the light on, but I can make a light for you. Or did I get it all wrong, and is your lighter broken too? Oh, don't worry, you can come with me and we'll walk down the street, because at the end there's a guy who gives away lighters for free, or at least he used to, because he used to be me. So please give me your lighter, and I promise I'll fix this for you, and after that you can go on with your day and forget about me too. But don't worry about me, I'll find a lighter one day, as I see a brighter soul once again walking away. Good morning, everyone. My name is Justin, and today I'm about to talk to you and to your inner child and your inner critic about the theme soft. So I hope you brought all three of them. And you just listened to one of my poems. And when Gusday saw this poem early this year, she was like, Justin, can you be our speaker for the theme of soft? Because I think it suits you. And of course, I'd love to. I'd love to speak. But at the same time, I was wondering if I'd be the right person to speak. Because when I look at the room, I feel like I might be one of the most cruel persons in here, rather than one of the most soft persons in here. But here we are. And of course, I looked up a definition of soft. And as you saw on the first slide, soft is often defined as something it is not. It is not hard. It's not acid. It's not sharp. Or something that it is too much. It's too easy, too flowing. And then I realized I pretty much do identify with the definition of soft, because I often feel like being too much and not enough at the same time. And that's an interesting. So I might be a paradox. But of course, as a writer, I wanted to create a definition myself. So I came up with one, and there was no word limit for a definition, because I'm a writer. So this is the definition I came up with. Soft is something that brings ease and comfort, where one can be held by kindness and love, and where one can flourish and go with the flow one partly created. And there's a lot of words that are very important to me when it comes to soft, like kindness, like ease, like comfort. But also, I want there to be a choice to be soft. And of course, I also got a second definition. I sometimes do have a dirty mind a little bit. I don't apologize for that. So the second definition I came up with is soft, the condition of the male genitals when a man sees something he doesn't like. And of course, I do have an example of that. Oh, too soon. Yes. And it's a picture of me, of course. I don't mind if a man doesn't say soft when he sees me. I'm very comfortable in my own masculinity. But this was a poem I wrote earlier this year about femicide, which the first sentence was, not all men, but always a man. And what I noticed was how many women respected it and loved it and replied to it. Yet very few men did reply to it or liked it at all. So in conclusion, it doesn't matter which definition of soft we're going to use today. I feel like I can talk about both of them. So, who am I? That's a good question I ask myself very often, because I still don't really know. I do know certain parts of myself. I've discovered certain parts of myself, but I also know there's so much more to discover about me. But of course, to make it a bit more clear, I can talk to you a little bit about my journey so far. And I'm not going to tell about it, I'm just going to show certain things. And you don't have to read them all. Oh. And the toughest thing to say about this is, these are just some milestones I've had over the years. But I'm not sure if I actually feel that proud about it. Because with everything that's here, there's the yes, but. Yes, I got published in a book, but there's no place you can buy it. It's still nice though. Yes, I got into a movie as a featured extra, but they cut out my text, my lines. So with everything here, to me it's like, am I even proud of this? And I should be. But do I feel like it? I don't know. Anyway, as you can see at the top left, I started Backstage Revisited in 2020. And for those who follow me on Instagram, that's my Instagram tag. And also my website. And the story behind Backstage Revisited, there's actually a theory behind it. Because, I don't know if you know a bit of sociology, but there's in sociology a theory that society can be perceived as a theater, where we have a front stage and a backstage. A front stage where we perform, where we play a role. And right now I'm a bit confused because right now I'm playing here a role as the community member of CreativeMornings, but I'm also playing the role as a son, as a brother, even as a coworker, as a friend. Perhaps maybe even someone's crush, I don't know. Please tell me if that's the case. But there are so many roles right now here. It's like the most ambitious crossover ever. But still, here we are. And there's also a backstage where you can reflect on your role. Who are you? Who do you want to be? Are you happy with the role you're playing or not? Are you happy with yourself? And that's the place you keep on revisiting. Every time when you're by yourself, you don't have to relate to someone. You can actually disconnect a little bit. But what I've realized is that last year is that I've been disconnected from myself. I believe in life there should be a balance between light and darkness. But as you can see on the slide, there's more darkness than light. And I feel like in my life, my darkness always has a bit of an upper hand. And it started in somewhere September, October last year. It was a period when I was dating with a friend of me, and after a very short time, she broke it up. And three things happened. First, I really struggled with detachment, with letting go of something, letting go of the past. The second is, I fell back in the I don't know how many of depression of my life. And the third is, I realized how many things I didn't heal from my own past, from everything that happened so far. So it's the jackpot. So many things at the same time. And I struggle with that. And at the start I said, I might be one of the most cruel persons in here, and I think some who know you, who know me actually, are like, what? And then perhaps you don't realize that I can be very cruel towards myself. It's never good enough. It's never good enough. I always want more. Every time I reach a certain level, I want even a higher level. I've never reached what I want to. So yes, if I'm soft, then I choose to be soft. It's my choice. It's not because I am. So last year, 1 week after I got dumped, I was working from home. It was rainy, I didn't want to be there, and it was in the afternoon, and I was like, I don't want to work, actually. And I saw there was a writing competition of poetry, and I haven't read a lot of poetry in my life. Read and wrote. And I was like, let's just try it. Let's try to write some poems. And I wrote 2 of them, and I submitted them. And this summer I got the email, thank you for submitting them, like 9 months later, as if it was something's birth. I got an email saying, congratulations, we're going to publish your poems in our new book. And then I thought, if that version of me, the one that struggles so hard to continue, that struggles so hard with himself, can achieve something like this, then what might the best version of me be able to do if I'm actually feeling well? The one that feels motivated and disciplined. And that's a flaw in this way of thinking, because maybe the worst version of me is only the worst version of me because it doesn't receive the love it so desperately needs. Because it's a hell of an achievement to actually do something like this. And that's why I said poets are not made, they're broken. Because you start writing and it's a combination of ink, of blood, of tears. And that's how I start with my poetry. But fortunately, there's also a safe space, a soft safe space. Recently I bought a typewriter as a recommendation by a friend of me. And that was an amazing thing he did. And this is not my typewriter stuff, this is the Word version because I couldn't make it on my typewriter, or that was me. It's falling apart in a place of love. And that's what saved me, that's what kept me going. When someone asked me how you're doing, I was like, well, my life is amazing. I have an amazing job, I have amazing friends, amazing people. At the same time, if I'm not feeling well, if I'm doing terrible, then what does it matter? If I live every day with a certain gray filter I desperately try to color in, doesn't matter. And as you can see, there's even an error here, the F of love. Because maybe it doesn't matter what kind of love it is. It can be messy, it can be, but it's still love. It is there. And I think that's an important thing to remember. So this is how I created art. And if you agree with this statement, I please want you to stand up. If you agree with the world needs love, please stretch your legs and stand up. And I really do hope I see everyone standing up. Okay, the next slide I kind of messed up, but I think you know what I mean. I'm gonna change the statement. It's not the world needs art, the world needs my art. I apologize. If you still agree with the statement, and I'm not talking about my art, I'm talking about your art, something you create. If you still agree, you can stay up, but if you feel like, no, I can't agree with this anymore, sit down. Does the world need your art? I see doubt, I see some people sitting down. And that's the interesting thing. Some people are doubting. And the question is why? Why are you doubting? Because you so agree, you all agreed with the world needs art. But why do you back off when I'm asking about your art? And I hope you will see this, that your art deserves to be there. It's a way of expressing yourself. You can sit down, thank you. Thank you for stretching your legs. And when I wrote my introduction, in the final sentence I said, I feel like an amateur human being, in two ways. Because when we think about an amateur, we think about someone that's a beginner, that fails at things, that fails at many things, that's just trying. In a way, I feel like an amateur human being, because yes, I do mess up. I do mess up many times, more than I wish. But at the same time, amateur means doing something because you love doing it. That's an amateur. So if I'm saying I'm an amateur human being, I got to be honest. Last year I didn't really enjoy being a human because I struggled with myself. But at the same time, if you do something, do it from a place out of love. Do it because you love it. And please, love being a human. Sometimes it's not about what one says. I'm afraid I know nothing of love. I started today with a silence, and maybe it's not about what I say, but maybe it's about what I didn't say. It's about the part you didn't see, the parts I didn't show, the parts I didn't tell about. And maybe that's what I desperately want, is to be understood in the things I don't say, in the words I leave out. Because if you leave out the right words, you can change a sentence from "I'm afraid I know nothing of love" to "I'm love." Maybe it's all just a matter of perspective, perception. I love it when an artist can give words to my silences, when I've struggled to understand myself. I love it when there's some music or some poetry. I'm like, yes, this is what I mean. This is how I feel. And that's the wonderful thing about art. It's about how one individual can write something and they might feel lonely about it, and then so many people can relate. But that's also the scary thing about art. My suffering might not be beautiful, but my survival is. No, it's not suffering. It's not. I'm standing here, but I haven't stand all year. I've fallen down many times. And the difficult thing with this, it's invisible with mental health. So that's the difficult thing. But my survival is beautiful. And the survival is how you keep on continuing, is how you keep on creating, is how you keep on showing up. So please, if you're suffering, then know that the survival is the more beautiful and most important thing. And to prove you all a point, there's one promise I want to make to you, not I want you to make. And that's the promise that you won't notice it when I'm dead. It sounds heavy, it sounds dark, but actually it's not. It's not. And to prove my point, if you feel safe to, you can close your eyes. I promise it's safe. I'm not gonna do some weird messed up shit, don't worry. But I do make you a promise that you won't notice it when I'm dead. For years I've had all these ideas in my head about life and about death, stories worth telling to make you either cry or laugh, or both, because that's what life is. So I'll make sure you'll never have to miss me. Neither when I'm alive nor when I'm gone, because for now I'm only just a call away. And after that I'll stay in your thoughts, the ones you have about me and about my art. And maybe I even captured a tiny piece of your heart and gave it another reason to keep on beating. I know I might not always have lived whilst I was alive, but writing helped me stay a little bit sane and made me survive like you did. And so I promise that once I'm gone, there will be plenty of words you heard from me. I wrote, but you've never heard before. There's enough for your lifetime and maybe even more. And if I might outlive you, don't worry, we'll meet up in the afterlife. And I'll tell you all the words I wrote about you and how I wished you had stayed alive. But until then, let's just have a beautiful little life. And I'm sorry if I'm gone every now and then, but I hope you remember when I'm gone, I also did it for you, so that when my voice has faded out, there are still words I've never said out loud. And until the end of your life, they'll be there for you, carrying pieces of me once you might have never seen before, and I hope they'll make you feel like whole, so you'll never have to miss me. I promise you won't notice it when I'm dead, because there will be plenty of words I wrote and never said. They'll stay with you until the very end, and once you're finished, I'll come back for you to pick you up and tell you that your time's up, and before you understand, I've grabbed you by the hand like my writings always did. Because maybe that's all art ever meant. Thank you. He came back. So, I've always wanted to be a musician and perform certain things. So, there's one last slide, an encore, of course. I promise you will notice it before I'm dead. I hope you understood the message of my poem. But before that happens, please, let's work together, let's collaborate. So, if you are looking for a writer, a poet, an actor, a model, public speaker or presenter, or even a part-time comedian. You can scan the link, you can link with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, even sign up for my newsletter if you want to. And the last one, I also add, if you're looking for a listening ear. I forgot to mention at the beginning, I hope you all read it, but I was going to talk about mental health. And I think it's very important to have a safe space around you, a sea of love in which you can fall apart. And I had that. That's a lucky thing. But I know not everyone has it. So if you feel like it, or if you feel the need to talk to someone, I just want to offer, please send me a message. Don't hesitate to do it. My reaction time might differ from 1 day to 4 business weeks, because I apologize, you know about it. I might not be the best at it. But if you feel the need to, I also want to offer that thing. And if someone feels like, oh, I'm a little bit sad or something, today I got a special offer, 2 hugs for the price of 1. Normally a hug is free, but 2 hugs is freedom. So feel free to come up and get one. Thank you.